Hey guys, so it's been a crazy week, crazy long week. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and today's my birthday. Happy birthday, me! Happy birthday! So I want to get on here and get some content out and get some good facts over to you guys, and definitely make sure that I am not neglecting the needs of my business friends along with my writers. So I want to cover today SEO, that is search engine optimization. That is very important if you want to be a content writer, if you want to be a published author, if you want to be a poet, and if you want to be a businessman, have a successful business, whether it be brick and mortar or whether it be digitally bound, whatever. SEO is important. That is where you rank in search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yandex, Startpage, blah, blah, blah. There's tons others. But we're going to start with the heavy hitters first. Google is the number one go-to for majority of people. I've learned in my career that without the knowledge of SEO, you don't have a good chance of ranking at a high quality organically. Now, a lot of people say, well, there's just ads that pop up. Yes, you're right. Ads do pop up. They also say ads on them. And I know when I see ads on Google, I just scroll right past those bad boys. I don't touch the ads. So we're going to teach you how to do it organically. Now, luckily, Google kind of changed things up a little bit, which does trickle an effect over to the other deeper searches, such as, Yahoo, Bing, and all those good ones. There's an effect to it. So, they have something called Rank Brain, or Brain Rank, or something. Let me pull my notes up. Let's find out for sure. Rank Brain. That's the one, Rank Brain. Now, Rank Brain is not a language interpreter at all. It's more or less a guessing system. It's something they use for advertisement, but it's their third largest influence on their platforms. So since they changed that up, it kind of leveled the playing field for everyone coming into the industry that does not fully comprehend SEO and doesn't have the money to back it. So here's some just good quick tips that could help you hit a more visible page organically, no money. All right, so have a Google Search Console. Type in Google Search Console. It's going to pop up with a lot of different things you could use, such as getting your website registered on Google. It's easy peasy to do. If you have WordPress, you could always get like Smart Crawl, the plugin there, and that literally does the ranking for you and does it for Bing and a couple other ones. Make a sitemap on your websites. The sitemap is very important for Google because that is their authority on your pages. It keeps track of all your stuff and also helps you maintain your traffic data. So having that sitemap benefits you because it kind of breaks down exactly who, what, when, where, why the structure of your website is comprised around. A good tool, Yoast Seo. Keep that in mind. Yoast Seo, a plugin if you have like WordPress. I have my own hosting, but I do use WordPress for my site builds, and Yoast Seo is my favorite plugin. They have a free version that is very good. You could always branch out and buy the upgraded version, which is kind of a pricey bad boy. It does work because it kind of aggregates the data over to a social media platform as well, but it's not super necessary. So I wouldn't really go for the spree until you feel like you need it and have the capital to cover it. The free one works just fine. So one big thing that does affect the rankings of your site and the structures is having an SSL certificate. What an SSL certificate is when you have that website and your URL in the beginning of it has the HTTP or an HTTPS. The S means it's secured. It means that Google trusts it. So when you click on the website, it doesn't say, hey, we don't trust this site. It could be trying to steal your stuff. even though you're not, it may not be your, primary objective is to, rob a whole bunch of fools, which it could be. I don't know you, so maybe, who knows, maybe you're a mastermind. It could happen. But having that SSL certificate gives you a higher authority rank with Google, which is good, especially when it comes into play with outbound links and all that stuff, which we'll get into. So keep the SSL in mind. It does cost a little bit unless you know how to kind of input your own, and self-signing doesn't really work. Those of you who, I'm not going to sit here and explain the cPanels and Linux and all that stuff, because I'm not fully the smartest guy. I try not to play with my files too much. So, okay. The titles and headings of your pages on your website, optimize them. And what I mean by that is, don't use clever wording, number one, because though though maybe some of the passerbyers may understand what you're saying, the search engines don't pick up on cleverness. Creative, maybe, but not cleverness, especially in a direct title. Keep your titles short, yet comprehensible as to what the content of the page is. Make it very obvious. Also, same thing with your headings. When you break and divide your sections up, make sure that your headings, usually use them as a keyword. By keyword is in the keyword that's used within the metadata. That the metadata is an actual direct search that will be going into the Google and other search engine bars. That would be the words that is typed in, like looking for podcast. Podcast would be one of my keywords if I was wanting to be on the receiving end of that traffic, which I am. Hey, I have a podcast. Look at this. Look us up. WriteItOutRadio.com. It's good stuff. So another good thing to do with your headings, it's called anchor texting. An anchor in text is, I'm sure you guys have been to plenty of websites, maybe some good, some bad, but when you click on a link inside of a page and it just drops you down lower to another section of that page that identified that link, instead of leaving the page itself and going to a whole another shebang and letting it load, it just kind of navigates you over. That's called an anchor text. And the URLs are written a little bit different in there. Instead of writing, like when you do the H reference to the actual URL, which is part of the whole coding thing, a lot of pages are very friendly with anchor texting. They give you options for anchor texting or CCIDing or CSSID. So the idea would be the actual tag or content that would link it to that particular section. It also allows Google and other engines, when they send out their aggregators and send out their bots, to search over your site, to identify that keyword. And since it is a rich keyword, because it is now hyperlinked and more acceptable for searching and more obvious, it helps that page or that section or that content or that post become more obvious for the search engine to, logistically rank and categorize and section off. So, I know, bad habit. I'm a writer, and there's my bloodline right there. So, the anchor text definitely work. Keep that in mind for your headings. That's what I use it for, is like little heading section dividers or inside text. Add social sharing buttons to your posts, to your pages. Every time you click that creates a bridge between your page and the search engine optimization of the search engine or the social media platform. So that's a direct linkage now. That's a complete relevance. And relevance between outbound links that leave your page and go somewhere else, are very important. You used to be able to kind of just link anything and go bananas and go crazy. Now Google, especially Google, determines what link, they determine your structure and your authority and your potency in the categorization and the ranking system by a lot of it's, by your backlinks and by your outbound links and all that stuff, because if they can't trust the links you're sending your users to, your traffic to, they in turn will not trust you. It's kind of a brilliant concept. It's a concept I kind of like. You'll see a lot of people who back in the day used to detail their page as in one word over and over and over and over and over again. That's actually a bad thing. It lowers your ranking. So, especially like your keywords and stuff, it doesn't help your keywording to do that now. It actually really, really, really adds a deficiency, and it's a huge negatoro on your page and does not benefit your rankings at all. So, make sure every outbound link, since we're already on that subject, make sure your outbound links and your interior links are all related to whatever that page, whatever the content of that page may be. So if you're writing a post about knitting and you say, I have a good resource, boom, click here, knitting, and it sends you to a pottery barn or a place to buy fish heads, that's not exactly relevant to what the content is, not exactly relevant to what the other keywords are that are on your site. So therefore, it's going to have a negative impact on your ranking, especially on the visibility of that post, if it's a post. So, posts, when you're blogging, especially having that blogging platform, consistency of that consistency in posting and having written content is very important. That goes for businessmen, writers, authors, publishers. You have to have consistency in your content, and having those eligible links that are relevant to what you're, to whatever you're doing, that has the HTTPS, which is definitely a huge bump and bonus because it gives them a higher point of authority, and especially depending on their site ranking in Alexa and stuff like that. There's tons of things you can use to look that stuff up. If you just Google it, free site ranking tools. You're gonna get up on a whole slew of things. We have a whole 3-4 pages just links for just that in particularly. I'm not gonna go ahead and give you any of them because you guys can just put that search, put that key phrase inside your search engine and you'll get a whole bunch more. As far as content on your page, do not clutter it. Keep it very clean. Keep it very formatted and keep it very readable. Google and search engines are now checking the readability of your content. So shorter, more impactful sentences will have a higher rank than long, drawn-out sentences. By that example, if I want to tell you about the new product I have releasing soon, I am releasing a new product, blah, 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 it's going to be great, and here's the demographic for it, look out for it. Well, that could be a pretty drawn-on concept. If you release new product coming soon, period, boom, keyword in there. Or an anchor text or another hyperlink to go out for an outbound link. That's why content with a niche or a specific topic are finding out that they have more of an impact on the ranks, because that niche kind of gives you an identifiable category and makes it easier for them to sort you and give you a specific area of search. Relatability, I guess, would be the word I'm looking for. So having a niche works, and also gives you, once again, that sense of authority. It gives you that trust between your traffic and your content, which can also eventually turn into a conversion, which a conversion can turn into a sale. That's all important things. So the more opinionated and whatnot you are about your content, ultimately the more trustworthy you become, and the more trustworthy your product, service, or whatever it may be will become, just by residual growth. You could go to if you're worried about your readability, because that's what that's called, because this is all an organic growth, and readability is very important. It's one of the most top deficiencies for a lot of sites. You go to Readability, readable.com, readable, readable.com, readability formulas, readability formula, all one word, formulas, sorry, plural, or WebFX, WEBFX, Whiskey Echo Bravo, Foxtrot X-Ray .com. All of those are free tools and free resources to check your readability, and there's always really good links on there that branch out to other free things. That's because they use good outbound linking that are relatable and actually have a direct correlation to what that content is. That content would be readability on your platform, readability on your website. Here's a resource to help you with that readability score, to help you bump that score. Good linking. That's just good concept. The speed, the loading speed of your page is affecting your rank. It's affecting how well you're trusted. Compress all images to help your speed. Now, once again, in that Google Search Console, there are tools that will check your speed, and if not, Google it. There are tools that will check the speed of your sites, and there are plenty of things out there like Hummingbird and other avenues that you can use to compress images and optimize them. And what that does is it kind of writes them inward into the texting rather than just using a secondary file on your server, which which takes up space, which makes it more loading time. Excuse me. Which takes up more loading time, which slows down the page. So the least amount of pages you have, the faster loading time, because the less data your overall information is being stored, the less of that, the less thickness to it, the cleaner the content, the better formatted, of the actual sections and the content itself. All that does help the loading speed. So don't try to go overboard with your background pictures and your hero, primary image and stuff in your sites, because the higher the pixel on it, the more high def that picture or backdrop is, the harder it's going to be to load, and which can impact your speed. Keep that in mind. Your number one topic, priority, your key thing to focus on, excuse me, is your user experience and navigation simplicity. Think of it being the user. When someone comes to your site, you want to be 100% user friendly, not focused around just the keyword. Focus on the usability and the simplicity of your navigation throughout your page and your content, to be able to click through and know where they're going and know how to get to the end result of a sale or service, or overall understanding of what it is that you have a website for. Having that navigation kind of lined up and drawn out, then you could build your keywords around it. You see? Don't write with keyword in mind. Don't try to oversaturate a keyword. It's not useful. It's not helpful. It's actually going to be very, very, very bad for you. You don't want things to be bad. You're already having a hard enough time building a site. Keep that in mind with every page. A landing page helps a lot, because a landing page is usually very visually grabbing. It's very appealing, and it kind of breaks down what you're doing and identifies your sections to whatever questions they may correlate to. So that brings back to your relativity, relatability, how relative you are to the concept or content in which the user is searching for, and add a video to your landing page, to the page that when they type your URL in, your website link, when I type it in, the first page I come up on, your home page, having a video on there could increase your engagement and your traffic by almost 80%, especially if it's a good video. I'm a famous hypocrite. I never do anything I say I should, I say to do according to our research, according to our experiences. And I'm actually seeing that already. I'm seeing the the hits. We have a split test out right now with one of our partners' websites. It's built almost exactly the same. It's used sister, content is pretty much sistered to each other, not mirrored because we're two separate entities. But their landing page does have a video, and it's not well made. We made sure of that, and ours has none. But their engagement and their traffic is way higher than ours. It's because the video helps grow an organic interest, and you can't replace organic interest. That is a sense of loyalty. It's a sense of build of trust and building trust and trust and trust and trust and trust. So having that, there are a lot of plugins available. By plugins, it's the thing you put into the website when you're building it that makes it pretty and all that stuff. Having those plugins make things a lot easier, like the Yoast Seo. It's Yoast Seo, or you just type in SEO plugin if you have like WordPress. I don't know how Wix and all those other sites work. They are good. I hear a lot of great things about them. My partners and people I know that use those sites have never had a complaint. They have nothing bad to say. But being a writer, being a businessman, you're usually brand loyal and procedure obsessive. So I've been using WordPress since I've had my first blog years ago, before blogs were really cool and anyone understood how backlinking worked. So just having that concept, I know WordPress probably better than anyone who would be coming new onto the platform, and since I've been building sites nonstop because of all the partnerships we have and the different avenues of business we go into, and the difference of form of industry that we run into, because we go into tons, from writing to business consulting. We won plenty of awards, to publishing we won awards, to freelance, consulting we won awards, and now it's somehow 360'd into media, and then burnt ourselves and went head on with sanity, and I think we're losing. But there's plenty of plugins that assist you in identifying what content's needed to rank and what should be who, what, when, where, why. Learning a little bit of HTML coding will definitely help, because you get to learn kind of how tags, HTML tags affect metadata, like the H1 headers, H1 titles, H2 headers, and so on and so forth. Bolding and italicizing key content that you want to be highlighted because it is very relevant to what you're doing and what you're trying to show, prove, or simplify. Whatever the overall purpose of your site is, that bold and italicized, of particular sections, words, and stuff like that, it draws attention to it, not only from the user's perspective, but also from the search engine perspective. They realize that it's different because of the tags built around it. So, and also anchor texting would definitely be helpful, or having a proper outbound link. And when you're doing your key contents, your keywording for the metadata of your site, of each page, if you just use one particular word, like writing, that word is a very common word, and it's very highly used, especially in the literary industry, because it's writing, literary words, paper, read, you've got to write that shit. So having just the word writing isn't as helpful, it isn't as surefire way to gain an impact on the rank as much as it would be to use relevant keywords like scripting, drafting, content, writing, and phrases such as that. Google, once again, they have keyword search tools, and there's a site. Let me pull it up. I'm actually going to pull on my system right here, because I should have had it ready, but I didn't even realize I was going live until I went live. It's called seo-tools.com. SMALL, small, SEO, Sierra Echo Oscar, Tools, TOOLS.com. I just found the site today, and because I'm once again building into the sites because I am that procrastinator. So I just found it, and it has a lot of cool things that I really like making a backlink for a particular page in your sites, finding relevant keywords to a keyword that you want to use. All this stuff is very useful because it allows you to kind of cleverly sneak around using very commonly used keywords. So it gives you kind of an edge on that system. So when you type in your keywords to your metadata, you would add the commonly used one, and then you would add your little creatively going around one. So that way when someone types it into the search engine, it still hits on that point. So that's very useful. So having all that be said, and having all that this is just the basics of the SEO. There's still a lot that goes into it that that it takes a lot of understanding and a lot of learning. So to have a full episode that I could just sit here and discuss SEO with you would take a full episode of like an hour, which is usually like on the on-air series we have. So I'm not going to do all that, but you have to be willing to stay on top of the SEO industry. It does change very frequently. For people in the literary business, the field of writers, they would understand how the shift in our industry is so rapid and so progressive that is just like that, if not worse. So the more you stay on top of it, and the more you consistently research, the better you will better you will do in the overall. You'll have a way better understanding of the industry. It's really not all too bad once you break it down. There's a lot of things that anyone can do. It's really just repetitive understanding, repetitive formats, repetitive codes. So learning those base codes, those H1s, those how to italicize, how to do all that good stuff, how your metadata goes in your headers, all that stuff. Self-learning is your best bet. Hiring an SEO company could become very costly. So, I mean, I'm talking $1,000, $2,000, a week, a month. That's a very realistic concept. If you have a brick and mortar business, go to Google Businesses and input your business, because it doesn't just show up without you doing that. And then go on every other search engine and start inputting them. Eventually, it's going to grab Relativity, and then those other outside engines are going to start inputting it themselves. So if you have a brick and mortar or something where you want to have a guaranteed location for your business, make sure you go to Google Businesses and Bing and Yahoo, Yandex, tons on other. I'm not going to sit here and Star Page and a dog pile and all kinds of crazy crap. So just go to all those and input your link. It does help. So now that we got that out the way, I want to remind everybody that we do have our Patreon account up at www.patreon.com/writeitoutradio, all one word. And I want anyone who is wants to show support, become a patron. We have some really cool things on there that can really benefit you, like some behind the scenes footage that no one sees. Excuse me again. And see how we edit these videos, and then you can see why I'm so flustered all the time. And you also get all of the research we do for every video in one whole, including the shows coming up like Scam Alert and other big things like that. So check it out. You get a lot more useful, relevant, up-to-date information that you wouldn't normally get without having to dig. We have a very good, a very talented, a very thorough, and very obsessive research team that can find everything. So leverage that. We have really cool packages for that. Check us out on writeitoutradio.com. We are on TuneIn. We are on iTunes. We are on Google Play. We have apps coming out soon. We have a lot of things going on. We are growing. We are very happy. We have a sponsor that will be announced on our next show. It's going to be great. We have more shows coming up. We have more partners coming out. There's a lot going on. And also, if you have any stories about an unethical business or an unethical service you have been provided in the publishing industry, we want to hear your story. We want you to come on. We want you to talk to me. I want you to talk to my production. I want you to talk to the whole shebangy team and tell us what happens. And we will dig into them with our brand new researchers like Mr. Michael Stabe and Editor-in-Chief Haley Young and her whole team of just bad mofos. We're going to dig into it, contact them, and then present it on a episode of Scam Alert, which will be airing Saturday. Our first episode will be airing Saturday, which is why we've been kind of slow on content. We're very sorry. We should have an on-air episode coming out tomorrow. We're going to try to. I'm trying to get locked in #Ballspo from the Adventure Nation team. That is a YouTube channel, Adventure Nation 1 on Facebook. It's facebook.com/AdventureNation1, the number. They go around and check out all these crazy cool sites that are abandoned and give you a little history about them. And they really do a thorough search, and it's super fun, well edited. It's a great team. They're awesome people. So check out Adventure Nation. Go like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your mom, get a tattoo of our logo. If you do that, you'll be featured in almost every show. That's awesome. A little creepy. Kind of makes me uneasy, but I will not return the favor. So, check it out. I have a new book coming out soon, whenever I finish it. If you guys want to hear more about that, hit us up at writeitoutradio.com or writeitoutradio@gmail.com. Jeez. So, anything about unethical publishing, you have any questions or any topics you want me to cover, writeitoutradio@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/write.it.out.radio. Check it out. We are very active on our pages. We do speak to people all the time personally. It's good stuff. So, hope you guys get your SEO together, and see you guys soon. Take care. Till next time.